Hey guys, welcome to Valley Rep Mechanics. Today we are going to address the leaky carburetor on this 1977 Yamaha Champ. It's a little two-stroke mini bike, 80 cc's, and it runs like a top. Only problem is carburetor is leaking all over the floor, so we're going to take care of that today. Hang with me. Not to belabor the point, but looking in there you can really tell it's just grimy, leaking around the edge of the bowl. I did not drain the tank last fall, which was my mistake, but over time it just dribbled all over this side cover and was leaking down the pegs onto this cardboard. It's substantial enough for me to want to change it up. Put your hand in there. It's definitely oily and greasy, so we're going to take a moment, pull it out, clean it up, and throw it back in. Alright, let's take a moment and start pulling this thing apart. So I believe you do not have to take the gas tank out or anything weird like that. But I'm going to take this top cover off up above. I'm doing that with a T-handle with a 10 millimeter. Everything. It's 10 millimeter on this thing, just the basic cover off the top, so I can be looking down. But now that I'm thinking about that, I might not have even needed to do that. We can pull these basic hoses, and I believe this has a little fuel pump system to where gas is only running when the engine's on, so it shouldn't have too much leakage here. This is some pretty tight hose. And yes, a little bit of leakage. So I have my carburetor ready. Maybe what I'll do is just go ahead and plug that up with a screwdriver. Now, just want to give you guys a little better view of what was going on. I removed these two hoses. This is kind of like a vacuum hose. There's your fuel line. We have this main air line that goes to the filter. Besides that, it's just this throttle cable, which I'll remove, and then loosen this crimp fitting around the intake, and then we'll kind of ease it on back and see if we can pull it out of there. So there's your carburetor. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it is pretty filthy, and I have a concern. It just looks like there's a ton of gas sitting in here, and I don't know if it was pooling up in the intake or what it was. It really fought me coming off of that intake boot, but let me get a rag. We'll clean this up a little bit, and then we'll go up to the bench and see about cleaning this guy off. Okay, here we are back up on the bench. I just got my little piece of cardboard down to protect my workbench. But just looking over this again, it is just completely saturated. I don't know if I have an issue on the inside, if it got some debris in it and the float stuck, or I don't know. But we're gonna pull it apart, take a look. I'm gonna just kind of wipe it down to start with so I don't get my hands as dirty. I really like these red rags. You can get them pretty much anywhere. They come in handy and they last a lot longer than paper towels. If you don't mind them being a little grubby. Some people like fresh towels every time. I'm not one of those people. All right, so good enough for me. Let's crack into this thing. Oh, there's a little gas. I'll throw my rag down. So the bottom has a few Phillips screws. Crack those loose. And a designated little pile. What I am going to do, like I was just talking about clean paper towels, I am going to put one down. It's a carburetor. And I'll put my hardware. Oops. Couldn't see. I'll put all my hardware on that paper towel. Let's see what we got going on inside the bowl. So gentle little tap. And generally they come apart. Yeah. I don't see much junk. I don't know if you can focus in that. I don't see a lot of junk down in the bowl, which is a good sign for me. Let's stick that over here. Let's pull this needle and seat. Pull this little bar out. Not throw it across the room. Out here. Float seems okay. I'll get some needle nose. Sneak this needle out. I'll be the first one to tell you guys, if there is anything on here that you see that you're like, hey, that's completely wrong, what are you doing? How would you ever think of doing that? That's probably true. I'm not by any means saying this is the right way to do things. It's just how I do it. I was never, you know, taught by a professional or anything. So I'm gonna leave my gasket in there. I'm worried that might be the problem. Maybe it's too dried out. It's only like a year old, but sometimes that's all it takes. Let's pull these jets apart and at least shoot some carb cleaner through them. See if anything's blocked up. I can see daylight through it. Let's try this. Check our seat here real quick. Sorry, if you can't see, say something, guys. Pulling out this needle seat. A lot of threads on that one. Looks clear. I don't see any debris in it. You can see all the way through it. Well, that's a good sign. So, take this jet out. Screwdriver is way too thick. We're looking pretty good. It ran really well last time I ran it, like a month ago, so just a light little cleaning. I'll take out the air mix screw. Let's count how many half turns here. 1 full turn. 1.5. Can you remember that? 1.5 turns? I'll probably forget. And spring. There it is. Well, the good news is I don't see any debris that's gotten through into the passageways, which is the main thing I was worried about. What I'm going to do is hose it down with some carb cleaner, and we'll put it back together. And when we do that, I'll just make sure that this gasket surface and this mating surface are really clean. I have a feeling that's where it's leaking from, but I only seem to notice a buildup of excess gas when it's sitting over the winter. So maybe this fall it'll be time for a new carb kit and some new gaskets. But for now, I'm just gonna try to get some of this crud off of it with some carb cleaner. All right, everybody, watch your eyes. Let's see. If I was a smarter person, I would hose off the outside first. So now I'll go back through and hit everything. Woo. All right, back to the bench we go. Well, looks like everything has checked out. I'll wipe these things down as I go. I've already blown them out off camera just to make sure. But yeah, we'll do a little time lapse, speed things up for you. How about that? I'm not sure, but I don't know if this will focus for you guys or not, but right here, that Phillips is slightly stripped out and it's causing me to have a little more trouble tightening it down all the way. And I'm wondering if that might be where my leak is from. I don't want to work too hard and beat it to death, but what I might do is back it out, put it in the mini vise, and kind of tap it back down with the ball peen and see if I can get the shape to come back. As you can see, this Phillips is just a little wallowed out, so I have it sitting in the vise. My plan is to gently tap the surface with a ball peen. Sometimes you can get these Phillips heads to kind of come back into shape by working them back from the outside in. So we'll give that a shot. I don't know. Did it help? What do you guys think? Maybe a little bit? Let's find out. All right, guys, here we are, back in action. Let's see how we did. Remember, this was not a carb rebuild. I was just kind of cleaning it up, hoping for the best. That's all you really can do. So the installation is the same as removal. We're going to slide it into this intake boot first, and then from there I can kind of push it onto this solid intake shaft. Hook up all my lines, and then if all goes well, we'll try starting it up for you. Give it a try. I have not run this thing for a few months, so it's anybody's guess. Give it a little choke. Start with a screwdriver. Nope. Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. Clean carburetor. Only time will tell to see if we fix the leak, but thanks for hanging. Take it easy.